Hey guys. So a friend of mine sent me a comment translated from Russian to English from a guy named Alexander Dugin. Alexander Dugin. He is the main spiritual advisor of Vladimir Putin. So this Dugin basically said, I'm just kind of paraphrasing here, that, yeah, it's very commendable that the Israelis are now going to defend the Druze in Syria. But then he said, yeah, that's all well and good, but he goes, the Israelis went too far. Right? Why did we go too far? Because two gentlemen, politicians by the name of Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich said that, this will be the first step in integrating Damascus into what's called Greater Israel. Folks, it's funny. I just mentioned Yitro yesterday. It's really funny with regards to the Druze, right? And I mentioned how Yitro was a priest of the nations, and he was, basically like the head, or previously the head, I guess, Gnostic fruitcake. I can't even call him that, really. The head, let's say, New Age priest of the world. And then he joined the Jewish people. He realized that Hashem is with us, and he joined the Jewish people. His eyes opened, and that's why a parsha was named after him. That's one of the reasons why, because it really takes a lot to do that. Imagine you're the biggest priest of, Gnostic fruitcakery, and then you just decide, okay, there's the Torah and the Jews, and I'm going to join all that. Drop everything I'm doing. So, my friends, and we had another Gnostic fruitcake priest by the name of Bilam, who came after that, right? And he, in the process of trying to give us curses, he ended up giving us blessings, right? Every curse he gave us turned into a blessing. So interestingly enough, guys, this Dugin, he's probably one of the top Gnostic fruitcake priests, you could say. He's a political commentator. He's a theo-political, philosophical commentator. It's all three kind of interdisciplinary things going on with him. On the one hand, he's kind of praising us, but on the other hand, he's saying, well, they're going too far. They're going to get, they're trying to get their Greater Israel. Folks, listen, and people are accusing, of Israel of orchestrating this whole thing with Gaza and with Hamas and all this stuff just so we can get it. Guys, I don't know if you know history, sorry guys, I'm getting bitten here. I don't know if you know history, like anything Israel ever conquered, and I mentioned this before, and how do I know what I'm about to say checks out? Anything we ever conquered, sorry, I was bitten by a bee. Anything we ever conquered, we conquered almost like really by accident. We didn't really plan on conquering it, right? Look at the 6-Day War. We didn't plan on conquering Judea and Samaria. We didn't plan on taking the Golan. We didn't plan on any of these things. We planned on defending ourselves and going to certain places, but we didn't plan on conquering these places. And you know how I know what I'm saying is true? When we conquered them, we either didn't annex them. We had a bunch of Jews who moved there over the years, but we didn't annex it. And as far as for example, Judea and Samaria and the Temple Mount, we just straight up gave away. We went from Har Bayit B'Yadenu, Har Bayit is in our hands, to just, here you go, Waqf, Judean Waqf, and we just gave it to them. Folks, and with Judea and Samaria, it's just been like this push and pull, yes, no, maybe so. Pretending like we want this, but, this quote-unquote two-state delusion, but really we don't. And then we just keep, allowing our people, rightfully so, to keep building and building and building in a place where, the cradle of Jewish civilization. Absolutely astounding, guys, right? So that's how we know that we never really sought out to get these, greater Israel stuff. But folks, now that the people who follow the Torah actually have power, some level of power in Israel, yeah, we're gonna announce these things. And yeah, there are limits to what Israel is and what Israel is supposed to be. There are limits, even if you're talking about this whole greater Israel stuff. And by the way, guys, the whole Syria thing, and I said this before, and it's been reported in many places, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said that one of the simanim, the Mashiach is close, is when the Jews capture Damascus. And it's interesting, guys, you see, it's, us going to save the descendants of Yitro. So you have us going to save the descendants of Yitro in Damascus, right? Where everything, Yitro was with us from the beginning, right? He's the father-in-law of Moses. And you have this fruitcake priest saying, oh, it's commendable that you're saving the descendants of the other priest, who used to be from my, so to speak, I guess group or sect, you could say. But, greater Israel? What Hashem allotted for you in the Torah? That's too far. That's too far. You guys are going too far. Yeah, it's commendable. You're saving Yitro. You're saving the descendants of Yitro. But what you get in the Torah, that's too far. My friends, it's not too far. And yes, it just so happens that the situation is such that Hashem is just gifting us these things on a silver platter. And the question is, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Are we going to just stop? Are we going to just dilly-dally like we always do? Are we going to go to the other side of the Hermon and then give it back and remove ourselves? Are we going to listen to Gutierrez and the UN? Are we going to listen to Macaroon, another fruitcake? Are we going to listen to all the fruitcakes that tell us don't do this and don't go here and don't go there? Or are we just going to finally be makabel, receive what Hashem is giving us, and take the opportunity, right? That's the question, guys. That's really the question. It's not about hating anybody. It's not about, quote unquote, God forbid, eliminating any group of people. It's just about if Hashem gives us something, whether we planned on, getting it or not, whether we had intentions on getting it or not, Hashem giving something that is our, what's called Yerusha, our inheritance. Judea and Samaria, the Golan Heights. Yes, certain parts of what today is Syria, certain parts of what today is Lebanon. That's it. We're not going further than that, right? And obviously certain parts of what today is Jordan. Hashem gives these things to us, folks. You clearly see. So, interesting, this Dugin guy, right? One of the main fruitcake, Gnostic fruitcakes of the world says, hey, cool, you could save Yitro's descendants, but don't take your land. Folks, that's how we know we should take our land. When a guy like Dugin says don't do it. Alright guys, talk to you soon.